to another video. Today we're taking a scenario where a new continent forms in the Atlantic Ocean. Now, why am I doing this video about a new continent appearing in the Atlantic Ocean? Thought it'd be a little fun idea. And the reason I picked the Atlantic is because, if you think of it, that's where a lot of fake continents have been. I could have sewed down one, like, right here. It's big enough, there could be another continent there. That's Pacific. The Pacific is massive. I could have done one in the Indian Ocean. I could have done one here. In all reality, you can put continents anywhere. And I'm actually planning on making a series. So if you like this idea, I'm actually going to do it more. Next will most likely be the Indian Ocean, then the Pacific, and I guess from there on we can just do whatever we really want. Arctic could even have one. But anyway, we're going to have a brand new continent forming right here in the middle of the Atlantic. So, honestly I don't know how to draw continents. I've never really drawn. So, it's gonna go something like this. I'll draw it really quick. So here's the continent, and I'm just gonna call it Atlantis. Now, this is a large continent. No, it's not large, but it's definitely one of the, now I want to say it's one of the bigger ones, but it's like really close to Africa. Kind of similar to, I guess, how I don't know. But as you can see, I've made it so there are some islands scattered around. As you can tell, I've made it so there is some islands scattered around, like island chains down here. That's just because I'm making it more unique. I think I colored in the border there. No, I didn't. So here is our new continent. This is actually a pretty large one. And do realise, if a new continent just appeared out of nowhere, it would be weird. It would shake up a lot of history. And I mean it, a lot of history. So this is kind of going to be a fictional scenario. Just ignore me downloading this to keep hold of it. But in all reality, this is going to be some sort of fake scenario. So this is a brand new continent. It's appeared in the Atlantic, and we're gonna have a lot of countries going over to colonize it. Yeah, so straight away, the UN is gonna try. The UN is gonna try and condemn this entire thing because this is really confusing of a situation. So the UN tries to condemn this and tries to figure out what they'll do about this because this is a brand new continent. And straight away, countries are gonna colonize it. I mean, it's too obvious, right? There's just gonna be countries going to colonize it. And comes the big old USA to colonize it. They will colonize, and now they're going to do colonizing. So straight away, the first claim put on this is this island right here. The USA claims it as theirs. And this is probably the biggest island in this continent. That's not obviously the main island. So the USA claims over all of that, and then they make a landing onto the main continent itself. And they take about this much land. So, they claim over all of this, and they consider it part of them. So now with the USA having theirs, we have a lot more countries in their obviously, navies over. Because Canada, Brazil's are all coming, as well as, for some odd reason, Nigeria, which, yeah, a bit weird. We also kind of have Morocco and Algeria kind of going for it. Their navies aren't actually that strong. Same with Nigeria's. But next country to make a landing is going to be Canada. So Canada's going to make a landing and claim about this much of the continent. And then we have Brazil next maybe coming up. They claim over all of these islands right here. And then they claim even more as they make a landing up here, try to take as much as they can, and they go down. Now it's time for Europe to appear. We have Portugal claiming over this whole island. And then continuing on from there, they make a landing and they don't get much because They're just claimed over a really big island. So they take about this much land. Now the UK is arriving. They're gonna try to get a big chunk of land. So they take about all this. And now we have Spain coming in. They make a landing and take about all of this. Not much, but if they can't get much, then Navy's not gonna make it. And finally, but not least, Nigeria makes the landing. They take over this land, which is by, well, you know, Brazil. So now with all the powers here, there's no more countries that would have managed to get land on this. These are the main powers, so USA, Canada, Brazil, Nigeria, Spain, Portugal, and UK. The closest ones to it, and actually have a good navy. Now, obviously, Russia and China and India would all want this land. Sadly, they're too far away. And then, obviously, Morocco and Algeria, they didn't get any. Morocco was trying to get a claim over this whole island. But, sadly, Portugal got that. Algeria couldn't, because Spain and Morocco were kind of blocking them from getting there. But, anyway. Now we have, well, the rest of this land having to be compromised. To, you know, give it. So, it's going to be rough. It's going to be very rough. But, the first compromise is going to appear from Portugal and Spain. They both kind of agree that they're going to split up this land. Well, they're going to split up the land. So we have them agreeing to split up the land from this point right here. They'll go up, and this is going to be like a river. They go down, up, and then they stop right there. So let's take a look at what they want. So, Spain does get most of the land, but Portugal does get some. Now, Portugal's not happy with how this was turned out, because they look ugly. But right now, they kind of need to compromise with it. They still have a compromise with the UK left. But now, it's time for, it's time for the good old USA and Canada. They are fine with this. There's actually no issue between these two. There was no issue between Portugal, really, but they kind of wanted to claim stuff that they wanted to claim. So we have the USA and Canada coming out from right here. Now this is going to go probably on a mountain range. Oh, for God's sake. So it goes out like this, it goes down a bit, it goes up, it goes this, and then there's this kind of a straight line going up. And then they realize they're too close to Portugal. So we have them just trying to stop it here, so let's take a look at what they want. And they split it. Yeah, that's being what else did you expect. Now we have Portugal and UK come to an agreement to split, well, all of this land up here. Canada's invited to this and they accept. The USA isn't, because the USA's got the agreement with Brazil still left, as well as Spain, but Spain's not going to get much. So, all Canada, the UK, and Portugal all going to meet up, and well, they just do this. There's no point. So this is going to be all the land they claim. So let's take a look at it. So just like that, they divide it up. Just face on this. Now this island, the UK and Canada wanted both. Both of them wanted to have claim over all of it. So this island had to come to agreement, and Canada was hoping to get land right here, and the UK said that if you want this island as well, we will take the land that you want from us, and you can have the island. And Canada and the UK are best friends, so they just decided that was perfect. Now it's time for the USA, Brazil, and Brazil and Nigeria. Probably the randomest one, but they have set claim over all of this. So Brazil is gonna get the most out of this. So Brazil's gonna they're not gonna. What am I on about? So we have them going up. around and kind of running like that. They decide to divide all this. Portugal and USA don't get involved. Although the USA kind of does want to get this little piece of land for some odd reason. Brazil says screw off. USA's not very happy with that, so let's just take a look at this. And just like that was okay. Yeah, that was a bit crazy. I mean, Nigeria did get land, but Brazil took most of it. And at this point, we have a final agreement coming upon this land, which we're going to take a look at right now. I keep doing pauses. And just like that, well, USA gets most of that. But now the continent has been divided, and, well, if it isn't obvious, these places are going to start getting their independence. But that's going to take a few years. So we have, obviously, you know, the population growth on this continent, and eventually... Oh, no. Eventually, we do see Nigeria's area get independence first, as well as Brazil's. Obviously, well, they're going to hold ties with Brazil and Nigeria. And eventually, we are going to see, like, the rest of these start to get released. Next up being Portugal's, then Spain's, and the last three, which kind of makes sense, is Canada's, UK, and USA's. We have UK, Canada losing theirs, and then obviously USA. Well, the USA is more of a release. Now it's time for war, because obviously, well, it wasn't, you don't even remember, but Nigeria wanted to claim this area. They wanted to claim all of that. Now that, you know, and also, well, now, again, Brazil wanted to claim all of this. So we have the Brazilian state kind of, well, they obviously they do, but we have the Brazilian conquered land declare war on the Nigerian land. What? The Nigerian land? That was weird. I've never seen that happen. And comparing strength, it's super unfair. I mean, we're comparing Brazil, the 12th strongest country in the world, to Nigeria, who I'm pretty sure is the top 30 country in strength. But this is probably even weaker than, you know, Nigeria itself. So, we kind of have Brazil, I don't know what these countries will be called. We have the troops here just kind of doing whatever they want and entering into the country. Eventually, the Nigerian land is going to surrender, and we have a peace treaty being drew up. And just like that, the Brazilian state is becoming massive. They took over a good chunk of Nigerian land. I don't know what to call these. But anyway, now we have a unification. Now we have a unification taking place. Oh my god. Yeah, and if it is obvious, this is going to be between the USA's land and the Canada's land. Canada and USA are so similar in real life, and these two are even more similar. And this is probably going to form one of the larger countries in the world. And we're going to call it the United States of Atlantis. Yep. They took the name of United States of America and just changed it to Atlantis. Anyway, now we have even less countries in this continent. And unification in this continent is high. Except for maybe like Portugal and Spain's one. Like, the Nigerian one wants to join Spain, but because of differences, they're not going to join it. And Portugal's going to have some issues with their... The Portugal one is having some issues. As well. Part of that country wants to be... What I'm trying to say is, this mainland here, it's kind of different compared to this island. So we do eventually see a split of this island as this island declares its independence from the rest of this one. From the rest of this country. From the rest of this country. From the rest of this country. Oh my god, I hate this so much. Anyway, you know what I'm on about. Next up, we see the Brazilian state kind of having an issue. Well, you know, it was seen, but the Brazilian state's going to break out into a civil war. And that's a pretty sizable civil war. Now, the Brazilian one, the Brazilian thing's not going to be able to handle this. So straight away we are, well, this is, if you don't know what this is, well, these rebellions are just rebelling from they're rebelling, that's what they're doing. So we have the anti-Brazilian one, which wants to join back with Nigeria's one. We have the Democratic one, which wants to join the United States of Atlantis. And then this one's kind of just, like, we want to be like Brazil, we just want to be part of them again. So these islands begin their invasion of the mainland, and they're probably the weakest rebellion here. I don't know. But they do pretty well. Until they don't have this Brazilian army is going to stop them, but they still do gain some land. Now, the purple team is just going to destroy everything. It pushes through, it captures the capital of this Brazilian thing. I don't know what to call these things. It looks like this one was ready. As they cut down and cut Brazil into two, this whole area is going to... This whole area here is just going to be given over to the Nigerian one, which Nigeria one is supporting, if it isn't obvious. And the rest of Brazil is left to rot, and they surrender to the purple team. Although I'm not coming in. Anyway, this is a pretty shitty. So straight away we have the release of the Democratic one, which I'm going to call the Democratic Republic. Then we have the Azov Islands, that's what I'm going to call them. I don't know why Azov Islands. And then we have this, which is just Nigerian. It's just called Nigerian, yeah. But anyway, this is going to be new. This country gets a new name for like a few days until they rejoin with their old pal. Yeah, they just rejoin Nigeria. This Nigerian land, and they get more land. The Democratic one is going to immediately join It's immediately going to be joining the United States of Latin America. Oh my god. It's immediately going to be joining the United States of Atlantis. And it looks like the United States of Atlantis might just take over the entire continent. Especially with UK's one, as well, most of people here want to be part of it, and most of them don't, so it's kind of half and half. But eventually this referendum will be held to join the United States of Atlantis, and it's kind of vague, but they join the United States of Atlantis. Straight away the UK is like, what the hell, dude, and they just snap all relations with the United States of Atlantis. And eventually we do see unification between Spain and Nigeria as one to form, well, a pretty strong country. So I doubt this is going to stay together long. We do eventually see the Brazilian one joining on the United States of Atlantis. And that's going to do it. So that's what this continent is, that's the border of this continent. This continent is going to be called Atlantis. That's going to be it. This will be what the continent looks like. So all these places are now independent, and obviously the United States of Atlantis is one of the biggest countries in the world, and also probably one of the top 10 strongest. It's part of NATO. I'm just probably crapping their pants from this. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video, and I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.